Hello, my name is Alejandra Obando Medina, and I am a student of the Bachelor's in Foreign Language in Emphasis in English at UNAD Group 60. Today I will present my lesson plan implemented with Cycle 5 students from the Escolarization Program at Institución Educativa Alfonso López Pumarejo in Potrerito, Jamundí. The topic was hobby, like and dislike, developed under a flipped classroom and task-based intercultural learning approach. My students belong to Cycle 5 of the Flexible Escolarization Program, a modality of young and adulthood. Due to different social, economic, or family circumstances, could not continue in regular education. 6 students this session, ranging in age from 16 to 50 years old. Their English level according to the SERF is A1 and A2, with very limited prior exposure to the language, the rural context of Potrerito, and the high affective barriers toward English were key factors considered in the design of this lesson. The learning objective was smart and used Bloom taxonomy verbs. By the end of the session, students should be able to identify at 8 hobby-related vocabulary words, use expressions such as I love, I like, I don't mind, I dislike, and I hate, to express personal preference and respond to simple questions. Do you like? All of these demonstrated through active class participation and the completion of a reading comprehension and writing production workshop. The flipped classroom component was adapted to my students' real context. Since internet access is limited in Potrerito, I used WhatsApp as the delivery channel, consistent with Francis 2014 argument that the flipped model must be adapted to learning's real conditions. Before the Saturday session, I shared 2 resources in the WhatsApp group Cycle 5. First, a YouTube video about heavy vocabulary in English, and second, a word anagram activity where students had to unscribble heavy words and like dislike sentence independently at home. Okay, at the beginning of the in-class session, I connect the pre-class activity to face-to-face lesson. First, ask the student what hobbies they had seen in the video. I accepted response in both English and Spanish, immediately providing the English translation when students responded in Spanish and having the group repeat it aloud. This allowed used to collectively build a vocabulary list on the board from memory and orally. We then briefly reviewed the word activity, validating the effort students has made at home. The main phase of the class was developed in 3 stages. First, I project in interactive infographic creating genially, which include animate GIFs of different activities. Students relate each moving imagine to its words in English and repeat it aloud, following my pronunciation model. Second, I presented the love to hate emotional scale, ranging from love to hate with a color gradient from green to red. And third, I direct the question, do you like? Personality to each student using habits from their real daily life input ready to generate spontaneous dialogue in English. Okay, I want to pause for a moment on the love to hate scale because it was one of the most effective tools of the sessions. The 5 levels of the scale differentiated by colors allowed the students to visually place their emotions toward a hobby. Each expression was a model with a sample sentence. Students then drew the scale in their notebooks and wrote one personal example for each word using hobbies from their how real life. This promoted writing production in a creative, low pressure format. Okay, the post text had 3 key moments. First, the grammatical structure was delivered, presented at the end, after a student had already used the language naturally. Second, I delivered a print workshop with a short text about hobbies. A student answered yes or no comprehension questions, identified hobbies in the text, classified them, and produced their own sentence. And third, I provide feedback on the most common errors. For example, I like dance, which should be I like dancing, and close with reflection questions. 4 digital tools were used throughout this lesson. WhatsApp as the pre-class content delivery channel adapted to the rural context. YouTube for the vocabulary video watched at home. Genially for the interactive in-class presentation with GIFs, the love to hate scale, and the grammar structure. The central tool of the in-person session. And Worldwide for the pre-class anagram activity. As Conic 2022, integration in lesson planning must consider students' real access conditions which guide all these decisions. This session left me with important learning in 3 dimensions. Academically, postponing grammar to the end and reduce anxiety and increase participation, confirming creation proposal on the affective filter. Personality, asking each student about their own hobbies, create bonds of mutual recognition that went beyond the purely academic. And professionally, using Janelli and WhatsApp in a rural context with the limited technology demonstrated that ACT integration is both possible and meaningful ever under real access constraints. Yes, I don't like it. Okay. Don Jesus, do you like swimming? Do you like swimming? Swimming.
Do you like
I like it.
I
like it. Good. Okay. Doña Neita, do you like silent? Do you like exercise? I like it. Okay, good. Juan Jose, do you like exercise?
You do. I know.
I
don't like
it.
it.
Okay.
I don't like it. No,
Why? Okay.
porque no me gusta. A mí me gusta play soccer, running, todo, pero no me gusta hacer ejercicio. No me gusta hacer ejercicio.
Okay.
Hago ejercicio tan solo que me obliguen.
Antes hacía, pero ya.
Okay, silent. Diana, do you like makeup?
Maquillarte.
Yes.